they basically said, he said, we can't censor speech. So here's the thing, right? So what the government cannot do by itself, it cannot do by proxy through an agent that is acting on its behalf. So it cannot do those things. If it cannot compel them. What we see happening, at least in the Twitter files, and what was going on with Twitter specifically, was a almost like a source cultivation, like a relationship. And what we saw in the Twitter files as they did the drops, essentially that Mark Warner from Virginia and Adam Schiff and a couple of others were involved in basically holding over the potential of legislation that would have regulated the industry and the platforms that way. And when you do that, you create a bunch of costs because regulation, creates costs. That's why people who care about business and want free businesses to be able to operate, they want less regulation. So they said, it's almost like a gangster type protection racket or a shakedown where they said, it's like a real nice company you got there, but it'd be a real shame if we had to put this really expensive, legislation on top of it and stifle your abilities. And then at the same time, the FBI comes in from the wings and says, look, we'd like to make some, we'd like to make some requests and we'd love to have some liaison contact. And by the way, we think it'd be cool if some of your people had a security clearance. It's really fun. So they worked this kind of, source relationship where they recruited them under threat, and it was like, well, you could be part of Team America. Like, that's what we're all about. So when you get them to come in and do that, now they think they're doing the right thing. They basically said, he said, we can't censor speech. We can't go out there and tell you to, to remove content, but you sure can. And kind of gave the wink and the nudge. And it was assumed. I mean, everybody in the room saw it.